echoes in eternity.
Welcome back, everyone, and I do mean everyone. It's the Forgotten Circus. So, if you know me and you watch my channel, which I'm pretty sure everybody should watch my channel, just please subscribe, is my favorite movie of all time out of all the movies. This is an entertainment channel, and movie channel. I talk about I've seen so many movies, and out of all those movies, my favorite movie of all time, I don't think it'll ever be dethroned. There's just something about me and that movie, we have a connection, is Gladiator. Russell Crowe, Ridley Scott, Oliver Reed, Demon Hansu. Like, that whole movie was stacked with people. Derek Jacobi. I mean, it was just, you were able to see Rome and see the grueling things that gladiators went through. And you got to see the rise of somebody that you felt like had no shot. You know, the movie was beautiful, got so many Academy Awards, and the first time you really saw like the Coliseum. I know it was CG, special effects, but the Coliseum and how grand it was in scale for that time. Just a great, great all around movie. My favorite movie. I watch it probably, to be honest with you, it's one of those I'll just put on, and I'll probably watch Gladiator and that came out in 2000, so I probably watch that at least once a month. Even if I have it on as background, oh, I ain't got nothing to watch, put Gladiator on. So that's how much Gladiator means to me. Now, Ridley Scott had a bright idea, as Ridley Scott does a lot of the time, to come out with Gladiator 2. Now, I was skeptical at first because I'm like, the way Gladiator ended off, and it's not a spoiler. If you haven't seen Gladiator, something's wrong with you. It was bittersweet. It felt like a one-off. It really did. It felt like a one-off. And that was the best one night stand of my life. How can you say? Movie wise. But he's coming out with Gladiator, and I was skeptical, and I was like, oh my gosh, don't do this. Please. Me, of all people, my favorite movie, they're going to do a second one of that we have no clue on how they're going to do this. Right? That's but then it started to grow on me a little bit. I'm not saying I'm all in. Now, this is Ridley Scott right now. Maybe Ridley Scott's making this comeback because he is producing Alien Romulus, and I'm definitely intrigued by that. But it had to been something. This movie had to been something because Denzel Washington's in it. Barry Keoghan's in it. Pedro Pascal's in it. Demon Hansu is coming back as Juba. I love Juba. Juba was great. He was Maximus' best friend besides Quintus. Quintus kind of stabbed him in the back, though. Juba never did that. You got Connie Nielsen's coming back as Lucilla, and then they're casting actually Paul Mescal as Lucius. I don't know why they didn't go with Spencer Treat because he was the original Lucius. I don't know what happened there, but okay, give it a shot. So apparently it's official. It's coming out in November 22nd, 2024 this year. So I guess they've been filming that fast because was it that long ago when they started filming for it? Because I know Pedro was saying something about it. But yeah, if you got those people on board, I don't know why they didn't use Spencer Treat and they went with Paul Mescal. That's because he's of age. Okay, maybe got something, but it had to be something. But now they're officially saying that Lucius is Maximus's son. So you kind of saw the tension between Maximus, even though he was married and had a child, because he's a Spaniard in Spain, and then he had, I guess his love interest during the war was Lucilla. So the timeline kind of makes sense because if you look at the two, if you look at the two children, right? One was a lot younger than the other one. Lucius was definitely a little bit older, probably by like 2 years. So that is okay. That can work. Maybe they had this thing. She met her other husband, and then she kind of played it off because that she wasn't married to Maximus, because back then doing that type of thing it's kind of frowned upon, especially your royalty. But I don't know where this is going, because last time I checked in the movie, didn't it say the Rome is going to be goes back to Rome is going back to the republic, to the people, right? Rome will be a republic. It's going back to the people. Lucius, when he was old enough, will stand in as the emperor, kind of how like the royal family is in England now. That's how it works. So that means to tell me that Senator Grack has failed. Okay. And this Joseph Quinn guy that's playing the Imperator, definitely probably going to be the bad guy. I do have. Just don't do Ridley. Just don't do the same story as the first one, and you should be all right. You can do it a continuation. Don't don't do the whole, like, not the same story, but the same scenario. Like maybe Lucius is set up and he's out in the woods. Sometimes the frost makes the blade stick. Situation. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't do that. People should know when they're conquered. Would you, Quintus? Would I? Because you think about it, Lucius comes from a strong bloodline. If they make that and he finds out that his father is Maximus, his mom is Lucilla, and his grandfather is friggin' or not, yeah, his grandfather is Marcus Aurelius. That's a strong bloodline to come from. So there's going to be a lot of weight on it. But don't make it that situation. And I know Juba. So if I'm correct, which I am, I'm pretty sure on this, all the gladiators that were under with Maximus, especially Juba, that was his best friend, they were all freed. They were all pardoned, freed. They were free men. So I want to see how that's going to work. And is Denzel going to be now the mentor to Lucius? Or is it going to be like Pedro Pascal? We don't know a lot of these characters, and I'm pretty sure the trailer's coming out pretty soon, so that's going to be good. Yeah. So this is interesting. It's got me in it. I know they released everything. They're just going to call it Gladiator 2, and they had the shield at the Cinecon. I need to start going to these guys. I really do. So it's interesting, because if you watch the beauty, and that's when wasn't that when Ridley's brother was still alive too? It was because it was still scot free. It was amazing. You know, can you recapture the magic of that again? Can you? I don't know. It's a different era. A lot of people are going to have to go watch the first one, but how much will this one tie into the first one? Or are they just going to use Maximus? They're just going to use the things about Maximus to kind of carry the movie, because they're already saying that Lucius is Maximus' son, which is interesting. It was possible. It was definitely possible. You kind of saw it. And the connection that the two of them had, Maximus and Lucius, in the first movie, it was almost like they knew they were father and son, you know, and he wanted to protect him from Commodus. So the way it ended off, he got his revenge and killed Commodus, which was the emperor at the time, which is Lucilla's brother, you know, Lucia's uncle, Joaquin Phoenix, a little weird guy. He played again, but you could understand what he was going through, even though he's a bad guy. You can understand that Marcus Aurelius really wasn't a great father. He's a great philosopher. He was a great ruler, just not a good father. So this release date is a little bit sooner than what I I thought they would push it back to probably January 2025, a little bit. January, around that time, February. But hey, I'll give it a shot. But I know they're going to have, I know it's going to be cliche. They're going to have a scene in there where it's either Juba or one of Juba. It's got to be Juba. It's got to be Juba or Lucilla. I know Denzel Washington in it. I know, but it's the people from the first movie. Just give them their scene when he bring, because I don't know if he's going back in the gladiator pits. Obviously, if it's Gladiator 2, he's got to get back in the pits again. He's got to get back in the arena. So somehow, some way, he's going to go in there. And you running off the names of Aurelius, Maximus, Lucius is your name. You better come with the heat. They have to have a scene, and don't do it early. Don't do it at all early, please, Ridley Scott. If you, well, probably mid movie, but I want it probably for the last scene. He was like, "I have a present for you. Here's your father's armor and his helmet." That would be dope. And he wears that for whoever the big bad is, probably the Imperator, Joseph Quinn. But I don't know. Tell me what you think. Do you think this is a bad? I'm on the fence. Gladiator still this. Ridley, you got to pull a rabbit out of a hat to just to take away. And that would be funny if it's still Gladiator, but Gladiator 2 is my favorite. And then my second favorite movie is Gladiator. That I don't think that'll happen. But I don't know. Tell me what you think. Do you think this is a bad idea? Are you interested? Have you watched Gladiator? If you haven't watched Gladiator, please watch it. Watch it like 3 times. The only problem with that movie is the CGI that I had was the tigers. But at the time, it looks great. But now when you look, that didn't hold up. But everything else holds up. Everything's good, and CGI is pretty good because they really didn't do that much CGI. A lot of it was on the real sets. And that opening scene in Gladiator have you hooked. Mm, yeah, people should know when they're conquered. But I don't know. Tell me what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to build this channel. It takes just one little click. All you gotta do is just press the button. Just subscribe. And I want everyone to subscribe. And I do mean everyone.